In this video, we're going to look at how to add and subtract fractions. First of all, when working with fractions, you need to make sure that all mixed numbers are changed into improper fractions. When I look at the first example, I don't have any mixed numbers, so I can go ahead and proceed to solve the problem. The process to adding fractions where the denominators are different is you want to first choose a common denominator. Rules to follow. Your common denominator has to be at least as large as the largest denominator in the problem. So my largest denominator is 3. I know my denominator has to be at least that big. Also, both of your denominators have to be able to go into the number that you choose. So I can't use 3 because 2 cannot go into 3 evenly. What I'm going to use is the number 6. 6 can be divided by the 2, and 6 can also be divided by the 3, so that will work as a common denominator. Now, to get my numerator values that I'm going to add together, I need to focus on what I just said for the denominators. What I mean by that, let's look at the number 3 halves. When I think about 3 halves, I look at the denominator and ask myself, what times that 2 gives me my 6? Well, it was 3. So what I'm going to do is multiply the numerator by 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and that's going to be my first value. Then I'm done with that thinking. Now I'm going to look at my second fraction, the 4/3, and I've got to ask myself, 3 times what equals 6? Well, it's 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the numerator times the 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. Now, because the problem's addition, to finish it off, I need to add the 9 and the 8 together. 9 plus 8 is 17, and then we keep that denominator. That makes my answer 17/6. And in 8th grade, you do not have to change it back to a mixed number. You can leave it in improper form. All right, let's look at the second example. Each number needs to be in fraction form, and I need to get rid of that mixed number. So I'm going to change this problem to 8/1. Remember, any number can be written as a fraction by putting it over 1. And then I need to change that mixed number into improper. Remember, the process is to start with the denominator and multiply it times the mixed number. So I think 8 times 1. Then I'm going to add to that the numerator, the 7. Well, 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15. So I'm going to use 15 as my numerator, and then I keep that same denominator. And then this is a subtraction problem. So now, repeating the process we just did, I think about my common denominator. Both of those numbers can go into 8 evenly. So now, to get my new numerators, I think, what do I multiply that 1 by in the 8/1 to equal 8? Well, it's 1 times 8. So I have to do 8 times 8, which is 64. Then I think about my second fraction, the 15/8. What is 8 multiplied by to equal 8? Well, it's just 1, so 15/1. You'll notice that second one does not have to change, so we get 15. All right, it's a subtraction problem, so to get my final answer, I just have to ask myself, what is 64 minus 15? That is not 59. It's going to be 49. And then I put my answer, keep my denominator, so it's 49/8 is my final answer.